Yar, I just watched the old Lighthouse film and it was mighty good. The Lighthouse is a drama fantasy horror film starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. Both men are tasked with maintaining and occupying this island set at the end of the 19th century. Willem Dafoe's performance was outstanding. His character had a lot of really great monologues, one of which I believe was from Shakespeare's The Tempest, which was obviously very fitting. It was shot perfectly. The combination of grayscale and 1:1 aspect ratio made for a really unique perspective. It made every single shot feel purposeful. So many were geometrically perfect. It also added to this theme of isolation the film tackled excellently, illustrating the limited space the two characters had to navigate for such a seemingly long time. I'm not surprised that this film has been nominated everywhere for its cinematography, but was disappointed it wasn't nominated for anything relating to sound. Don't go into this movie expecting a traditional horror. There aren't any jump scares. Most of the jumpy sounds come from the environment, i.e. thunderclaps or grinding gears or even seagull squeals. In the most dire and torturous moments of the film, the sound played a pivotal role in making me react, and in the more surreal moments too, the loud cries of people or even the storm would urge me to cover my ears. The only real problem with the sound was the delivery of the dialogue at times. The two characters have thick pirate-esque accents and oftentimes mumble. From what I could discern from their dialogue though, the script is great. Both actors are great too and bounce off each other continuously. Insanity plagues our two characters as cabin fever sets in. The longer the story went on for, the harder it became to define reality.
How long have we been on this rock? 5 weeks? 2 days?
Don't just take Willem Dafoe's word for it in the trailers. You first think that time is straightforward and that their departure from the island is in sight, but as the film goes on it becomes less and less clear exactly how much time the pair have spent there. This is assisted by the absurd amount of alcohol the pair drink, which made me want to go out and buy a big bottle of rum afterwards. The film didn't hold back on anything and shows the most depraved behaviours of men stuck on a remote island. The sets are really well designed too, especially the Lighthouse. It looks incredible, from the huge scale of the titular location right down to the broken glass on a table and floor. This is not a place you would want to be stranded on for weeks on end. Okay, we're now going into spoiler territory. I'm gonna pop a little timestamp for you there. 3, 2, 1. Just so we're clear, this is Tommy and this is Tom. The recurring motif of the seagull was the most fascinating aspect of this story for me. They are a never-ending presence in the film itself, but the warning from Tom at the beginning that they were supposedly the souls of dead sailors was an incredibly powerful idea, which escalated further when Tommy killed one. This moment was so horrific to watch as it was all done in one take and the blood from the bird just seemed to splatter everywhere. Significantly, the bird he killed had one eye, and the final shot of the film shows Tommy dead with his eye gouged out by the seagulls. It felt so fitting that he would get his comeuppance for killing both the bird and his partner, but it makes me question whether the movie just went down the route it did because he killed the bird, and everything from that point was just the consequence of that singular act. The other thing I took away from the ending was that the ultimate goal for Tommy was to see the light that had consumed Tom's mind. When he finally gets to see it, I think somewhat horrendously loud laughter signifies the anticlimax that it's just merely a light. Of course, the construction of it, the way Tom reacts to it, and the glitzy way it's filmed make it out to be something far greater, but the disappointment Tommy experiences causes him to throw himself down the stairs. After all, what else has he got to live for? Possibly my favourite line of all was, "If I had a steak, I'd fuck it," or actually no, it's also contested by, "Why'd you spill your beans?"
Why'd you spill your beans?
That line just went right through me, especially because it went dead silent beforehand and I was expecting a jump scare at any moment. There was this brilliant irony to the film regarding alcohol. The buried rations aren't food or water, but just countless bottles of what I'm presuming is rum to distract them from their ever-decreasing sanity. Especially by the end as well, when they do run out of booze, that the fantasies become more intense and that Tom was actually doing Tommy a favour by offering it to him so early on in the film. I loved the inclusion of the mermaid as well. She was one of the creepiest aspects of this film. There was a gorgeous shot of her at the beginning where she was swimming underwater, and later she wound up being washed ashore with these gorgeous close-ups in her seaweed-covered face. To then start screaming, I was just totally blown away. You have these beautiful shots of the ocean waves as well, which I think startled me the most. As the film progressed and the storm worsened, the waves just got bigger and bigger. You don't really get to see them directly crashing into the island, but fuck me, they look terrifying all the same. They might have been used as well to metaphorically show the pair's continuous orgasms as the waves crashed against the shore. Both actors were taken to their physical limits in these roles. The best perhaps was towards the end when Tom got buried alive. The mud that gets flung into Willem Dafoe's mouth as he recites an old sea shanty was disturbing as fuck. The amount of physical labour Robert Pattinson undergoes throughout the movie is really felt as well. There's a great moment when he drags a giant keg of oil up the stairs to the lighthouse, only for Dafoe to be waiting for him at the top and tells him to take it back down and use the portable can instead. Another favourite moment of mine was when the pair have to repaint the lighthouse with Tommy dangling down. I genuinely gasped when he eventually fell. The cherry on the cake being that Tommy's work would eventually be undone by the end by the storm, adding more reason to his eventual suicide. If you have the opportunity to see this film, do it. It's a masterfully crafted bit of art, and I honestly can't wait to watch it again. I give The Lighthouse a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Would you like to see more reviews of upcoming films like this? Leave your thoughts in the comments below or join us on my Discord server, where we'll continue this discussion.